Hello everyone, my name is Elle. In case you didn't already know, welcome to Project Pan Porn. This is a project where I try and hit pan on as many eyeshadows as I possibly can. And over the last month and a bit, I was working on two palettes. The first one being Subculture from Anastasia. And I know what some of you are thinking. Yeah, so what? It's pretty easy to hit pan on Subculture. And yes and no. You really don't need to pick up a lot of product with this palette. And if you are picking up a little bit of product using a light hand, this palette is going to last you a long time. But if you are heavy-handed, you could hit pan in seconds if you really wanted to. So I have hit pan on two more shades. So when I first started using this palette to try and hit pan on it, I had already hit pan on the shade Dawn, and I've since hit pan on the shade Roxy as well as the shade Adorn. And it was fairly easy to do so. Roxy is a very powdery sort of shadow, and I was using it with a fairly large crease brush because I was putting it in my crease. Adorn, I was using that shadow wet, and I would use this on the lid, all over the lid, or the inner third or inner half of my eye. So my favorite and easiest eye look to do is using the tape method, so I get those really sharp edges. I just feel like that sort of shape is the most flattering on my face and my eyes. And I would have Adorn on the either inner half or inner third, and then I would have other shades to blend into it. My favorite thing is Adorn with a brown eyeshadow in the outer portion, something like Embark from the Burgundy x9 palette from MAC, which is a really deep brown shade, so much deeper than Fudge, which is in this palette. And it just looks like you spent a lot of time on your eye makeup when you really didn't. The only time is blending the shades together. And really something like Adorn, which is such a deep bronzy shade, is so easy to blend with browns, and it just looks like you spent so much time on your makeup, and that's what I love about it. It's just effortless. And then I can go in with lashes if I want to be really dramatic. You can add liner. Sometimes I would just use pencil liner. You could use black pencil liner, brown pencil liner. Like, you've got so many options, and that's what I love about it. I've also got a fairly good dip on New Wave. I love this sort of orangey shade. I really love New Wave and Edge together for sort of a mustardy thing. That's what's on my eye today. I have New Wave and Edge and Embark from the Burgundy x9 palette, as well as a shade from the ColourPop Yes Please. This is just the tones that I really like. It feels very autumnal to me. So I love using those. I feel like I can hit pan on New Wave pretty soon if I want to. In this eye look I'm wearing, I also have a little bit of Electric on the inner corner. Electric is a little bit of a hard shade to use. I feel like it doesn't look that great all over the lid on its own, but it looks pretty with other shadows, and it looks pretty as like an inner corner pop. I really liked using it a couple of times as the middle of a halo eye, a green halo eye, using Destiny and Untamed and even maybe some Axis. I did a couple of green halo eyes using a variation of those shadows, but not enough to show noticeable progress on those shadows. I have a little bit of a dip in a Cube, which I really do not like that much. It's pretty as a highlight, but it's just not great. I much prefer something like Road Stripe for that really duochrome effect. I feel like Cube is just not intense enough, and when you get it wet, it's really messy. So I generally overall really like this palette. The only shade I really did not use much of, well, shades I guess, there's two shades I didn't use much of in here. Fudge, the brown, because I was using the brown from the Burgundy x9, and Mercury, the gray, because I just wasn't really feeling gray. I've been swatching this palette trying to figure out different color combinations, and the gray does look really good with these other shades, but I just can't figure out how to actually make it work on my eye. Like, I've never been one much for gray eyeshadow unless I was doing like a gray smoky eye, and an all matte gray smoky eye just doesn't really appeal to me. So I'm not sure how to go about using Mercury. If you guys have any ideas, let me know. But I'm happy that's two more shadows that I've hit pan on. It always feels good. And the next palette I used was from ColourPop, the Yes Please palette. Okay, so I talked about this last time, how I tried to clean it and then made a mess. And again, I tried to clean it because I didn't learn enough the first time, and I made a bigger mess. It looks even worse than it did before. But it's like, it's dry, it's clean, like no shadow is coming up off my finger. I just can't clean it. It just spreads everything around when I try and clean it. It just makes it worse. I'm so disappointed. I mean, it kind of looks pretty in a way, if you ignore the fact that it's supposed to be white. It looks pretty. I mean, it's a little bit irritating, I get that, but at least it's used. I did hit pan on one shadow in this palette, this light gold shade in here. This is Butter Cake, I believe. It's a little bit difficult to tell with the names on the back here. I really like when the names are written underneath because then you can be sure what you're calling something. But I love golds. I love gold eyeshadows, and I loved this one. This is such a good shade. Gold eyeshadows just make me happy. So gold, again, inner portion of the eye, dark brown on the outer portion, simple and easy. This is the shadow that's on the middle of my lid today. I would also use this gold shade with Edge and New Wave from Subculture. Mustardy yellows and yellowy golds, and so beautiful and so easy and just so autumnal. Everything I love. This is also a really pretty shade to put all over the lid, and then using either a neutral color to blend out in the crease, something like, as in my Burgundy x9 palette, Poppy Seed, just easy to blend out edges. So you just looks like you have really blown out gold smoky eye. I love gold smoky eye. I would also use it occasionally with something like an orange to blend out to get a really easy sunset look, because when you mix the two together it looks like you have more shades going on when it's just the two. I've got a fairly good dip on this one up here, which I think is full zip. This is the like my skin color-ish kind of shadow. I was using that to set my eyeshadow primer, but the problem is I kept forgetting about it because I would set my eyeshadow primer with something else because this doesn't have a mirror. And that's the biggest problem with this palette for me, is that it doesn't have a mirror. I truly feel like I would use it more if it has a mirror, because that's just how I do my makeup. I like to pick something up and go, and if I have to pick up another palette, then I'm going to reach from that one first. So I would tend to prime my eyes, have everything ready, and then go into the palette, and I go, oh crap. So I have a bit of a dip on this one, but not that much, and that's just because I wasn't using it daily, because I was using other things. I was also using this deeper golden shade down here, same way pretty much as I was using the lighter gold. Also a very beautiful shadow. I really love this palette, like the orange and the red in here. This is like a reddish brown as well, and that is really beautiful. You can really layer things together. I did use these two shimmery shades on occasion. I'm not really crazy about this one up here. I feel like it's a little bit too dark for me. I feel like really these two are very similar, but I like this one because it's a bit of a rose gold kind of shadow. Like it's like a rosy shadow, and then you've got like a little bit of a gold shine to it, and I love things that are pink, and I love things that are gold, and I just feel like you get a really cool effect when you spread this all over your lid. Like it's so effortless. It's the easy one and done kind of shadow thing, because you can just put it all over your lid, add a little bit of liner if you feel like it, lots of mascara, and you're good to go. And that's what I really like about these palettes and together, is that they're very easy for me to do looks that I was really inspired by. I would say within the last like week or so, I found myself not wanting to reach for these as much. That's when I knew this project was done. It had run its course, because I don't want to get tired of stuff. I don't want to feel like I don't want to use it. And then today, I wasn't even planning on doing this update yet, but I just felt gravitated towards those palettes again, and then I went, yeah, okay, this is the time now to do the finale. So for the next month, I am not actually going to be choosing anything specific. I am just going to have a full month of playing around with whatever. Not really intending to hit pan on stuff, but if I do, I have accidentally hit pan on a few things, even while doing these projects. I will post stuff every now and then on Snapchat or on my Facebook group or something, where I'll be like, hey, I picked up Sweet Peach today, and I hit pan. So I kind of want to play around with some of those again. Some of the palettes I used previously, some of the things I haven't been reaching for as much, some shadows that I like but haven't really shown a lot of love to, like my Makeup Geek and my MAC shadows, which are some of my favorite shadows to reach for, but I don't reach for them that often because I'm usually working on something else. So I'd like to use those things that I really love, like my special occasion shadows. I want to reach for some of those, but I'm not putting any pressure on myself this month. I'm just going to use whatever, and then in a month or so so's time, I will check in with you guys and let you know what palettes and shadows I was using and if I managed to hit pan on anything at all. I'm hoping I do, but if I don't, I think it will still be a really good learning experience and will help me go from there, because right now I think I am going to continue this project into 2018, and that way I can still be working on hitting pan on things, but I'm still going to do a pan that palette as well. So I get to rotate through all my different palettes after doing my palette declutter. It also feels really good. I don't have a lot of things hanging around taking up space like I did before. So I can rotate around through some of my palettes and still pan a full one as well. So I'm really excited. I'm really excited to play around this month and have no restrictions, because it's been a long time. I think the last time I didn't have any restrictions on the shadows I was using was almost never, like last December maybe. So I'm really excited to just grab whatever I want, and we'll see what I'm drawn to. I will try and do Instagram and Snapchat check-ins so that you guys know what I've been using if you are curious throughout the month. And if you would like to see anything specific from me, please let me know. I love hearing from you guys. That's all I have to say. I'm really happy with where I stand right now with this project and with how much usage I have shown my shadows over this past year so far. I feel really good about it, but I'm also really, really excited to just play. Anyway, that's really all I have to say. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope I will talk to you soon. Bye for now.